Are you aware that you're the first person that showed me weed?
Right.
Right. But listen, because this story, right?
I was not aware.
Okay.
So was rolling to school with knives.
Jeez.
You get me? Just to
Protect yourself.
Yeah. Car, I'm with someone who's in it. Who's in it. I'm rolling with someone who's in it. You know what I mean? So I had to protect myself when I'm with him. I remember this is when I realized like man was poor, innit? Yeah, because I remember, lunchtime, mum used to give me a little change for lunchtime, innit? And then I just remember one time just trying to get some food, and I was just like, rah, this is what I've got, and this is what I need to try to feed myself with. So when you were young and you were seeing elders doing little things to try and make little change.
You started hustling.
Yeah, you start hustling, innit? And then that turns into other things, innit? But yeah,
it's the same concept with just different stock.
Yeah, different, exactly.
Yeah, and I think I cracked one joke.
Okay.
And she turned around to me. She was like, "I'm gonna smack you outside." And I was like, "What?"
Bear in mind, Terry's a girl, you know.
Yeah, but Terry's a good, but Terry was a big girl.
Yeah. She could hold her own still.
She was a bully. She was a school bully. She said to me, go on the field at lunchtime. I'm gonna have 8 of my 18-year-old friends on the field to stab you. And I remember I said to you, I was like, listen, she's threatened to have me stabbed. And you were like, all right, let's go and see then.
Yeah.
That was the thing. Other kids would have been like,
come on,
stay away from the field.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, I want to see what's going on.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah, man.
Okay, we're rolling. Ladies and gents, what's happening? Welcome back to another podcast episode. My name is Nicolaou. I always have big delays in between my episodes, and I'm not going to bullshit you with reasons why. Owning a business is long. Getting guests and subjects is long. But with that being said, today my guest, I'm excited about this one, is my school best friend. So people talk about day ones, right? And they met them when they were like 20 years old. And we're going back to primary school days. So we're not giving government names out. Tox in the chair with the barber.
Yeah.
So we've known each other since primary school. We went to high school together. Mm-hmm. Every time we were about, back in them days, always together.
Yeah.
If somebody saw one of us, they saw both of us. It was one of them.
We rolled tight.
Yeah.
Did, man.
And we've got some good memories from then. And one thing I'd always say is when we started high school together, you were in our school until what, year 8, year 9?
Halfway through year 9. I remember that's when I was doing just right. getting into some mad shit. Right. So too young, basically.
So you left our school.
Yeah.
You went to Balfour.
Nah. I left Western. Then I moved to London. Then I was there for a bit, but then I moved back to Stafford.
Okay.
So
and then you went to Balfour.
Yeah.
I thought you went to Balfour and then you went to London.
Nah, this is what my brother thought as well, you know. And I had to tell him I remember because my uncle died 2003, and I remember my mum saying, "Come back to Stafford, come back to Stafford." And I was in London them times, but I don't think I was in a school or anything. I think I was trying to find something, and then I came back, went Balfour.
Oh, okay.
Then went Balfour.
So one thing I'd say is when we were in school together, because we always had each other's backs, I wasn't scared of shit. I knew that you were there if there was ever anything that was going to kick off. Not like school wasn't rough, really. Our school wasn't rough, but you know, there's always kids are kids, and you never know what can happen when it can happen and whatever else. True. And so, yeah, I always thought, you know what? If you rely on anybody, because when you're going through school, you feel like you need somebody that can back you up. Do you know what I mean?
Of course.
And so yeah, man, we had some fun times. And so I was in the barbershop the other day. I was cutting a client's hair, and he said to me, how much would you pay to have your best school moments on a DVD that you could watch back?
Wow.
And we started exchanging stories, and we were laughing the whole way through. And so I thought, right, I need to do one of these episodes, and I need somebody that I went to school with. Yeah. Now,
I'll pay big money for that. Big money.
Yeah. So, what do you feel like your best years at school were?
What are you saying? Actual year? What actual
year? Yeah.
Boy, you know what? Year 7. When you're in high school, when you rock up and you're just, everything's fresh, isn't it? You're like, what's this? You're seeing bare people.
Do you know what? I've got to say, right, when we turned up to high school, right, my older sister was there.
Yeah.
But you didn't have anybody family-wise that was still in school at the time.
Nah, I didn't.
Because all of yours had finished.
Yeah.
Like long time ago.
Yeah.
But everybody wanted to know you.
It's weird.
Did you not?
It's weird. You know what though? I had older cousins though. That obviously the older years, like year 11s and that, they knew who my cousins were. And that.
Oh really?
Yeah. Yeah. So I remember the days of the back of the bus. Like, and that's how that came, because my cousins knew then the year 11s and that. So
that's why everybody wanted to know then. Yeah. There was like a hype around you.
I was hyper anyways though back then. I was bare hype.
Always had that energy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shit, now that you mentioned the boss, you know what just came to mind?
What?
Remember that, we ain't going to mention the name, but remember that beef that you had?
Oh, yeah.
With the kid from my boss.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And imagine that made us friends.
Yeah.
That's that, you know what I'm saying? Like, had the straightener, and then after we're friends.
I need to give some context. So you had some beef for whatever reason, and the one day on the bus, so we used to get different buses, but our buses were parked next to each other.
Yeah.
And someone caught the other person's eye, and then you're beefing through the windows.
But you know what? Something happened prior to that. That escalated to that.
Yeah, I know that wasn't. I know that wasn't the start, but that's where I seen it.
Yeah.
And then I knew that it was going down the next day.
Yeah.
But because I never used to get the bus into school, my mum used to bring me.
Yeah.
So I missed the drama that unfolded.
Yeah.
Morning.
Yeah, man.
Hands started to fly.
Yeah. I was that like I couldn't let shit slide, innit? Like, you know what I mean? I couldn't, and that's how I was kind of raised, innit? You know, like, don't let people take the piss, innit? You know what I'm saying? Because I swear.
But that's why we got along, because we had that kind of same mentality. But moving on from that. So one of the stories, right, that I was just saying before we started filming, I was going to mention the story, but I hadn't told him what it was, and I don't know if we've ever spoke about it since, because unfortunately, since we left school, we don't get to see each other much. So we haven't had enough conversations for this to be brought up. So I don't know if you remember the story, right?
Go on.
But are you aware that you're the first person that showed me weed?
Right.
But listen, because this story, right?
I was not aware. aware.
So
that's how like I didn't think back then. You know what I'm trying to say? I didn't realize what I was doing. You get me? But yeah, carry on.
When I remember school stories, this is one of those ones that it might have not have been the biggest deal, but it's one of the ones that sticks in your head the most. Right?
Yeah, of course.
And it was year 8. Now, at this point, I knew that you were kind of getting into that kind of stuff, but I wasn't into that kind of stuff. So you kind of had the people that you do that with.
Yeah.
And so we're sitting in the back of French class.
I remember. Yeah, it's coming back to me now.
Right. We're sitting in the back of French class.
Yeah.
Now, what you have to understand is that the strictest teacher in the whole school was our French teacher.
For real.
Right? And you know when...
Was it Miss Shaw?
Yeah. Now,
yeah.
you know when teachers say they're going to pop out, you don't know when they're going to pop out for 5 seconds or 5 minutes. You don't know where they're going, what they're doing. So she could come back at any time. She leaves, says she's going out, she'll be back. So you're sitting on the left of me, right? We're on the back table on our own, and you pull out this block.
Hash back then, resin.
Right? This block. And to me, it looked like a block of soil. I ain't never seen it before. Right? And I looked down, I was like, what's that? And you said to me, come on, you know what it is. And I was like, oh. When you said that, now I know what it is, right?
Yeah.
So then, you pull the lighter out.
Mad guy, you know.
Light the fucking thing.
Yeah.
And in 3 seconds, the whole room smells like weed, right?
Mad.
Now, I've gone into panic mode, right? Because I'm like, firstly, I don't do this, and I'm going to be attached to it. Secondly, if this goes back to my dad will shoot me. Right? Everybody turns around because they can smell it. We turn around. Remember, we had the windows at the back. We slid the windows up and started trying to get the smell out of the fucking room. And I was like, oh my days. And luckily, by the time she came back, the room never smelled.
Crazy. She would have never thought that, though. I was on some mad stuff. Like,
yeah, but surely she's gonna come back. Like, why does it smell like weed in here?
True.
You know what I mean?
But in her defense, she's walking into a room thinking that's not gonna be on her mind, though, is it? Though I'm gonna, you know what I mean? She ain't gonna walk.
Yeah, but would that not alert you as soon as you walk?
Yeah.
It didn't smell like this when I left.
Yeah, true. I don't know why I did that. You know, I don't know why I did that. You know, it was back then. I was a bit of a I was like to show off a bit. I don't know why. I was gassed. I was a gassed child.
Yeah, I just think you it was just like a spur of the moment.
Yeah.
You just wanted to have some fun.
Innit? That was me, though.
Yeah, you were living on the edge.
Real on the edge, really on the edge, really crazy, funny. Yeah.
So, what was school?
Don't do that, kids.
And we were like what, 12 years old?
Yeah, 8. We 12, 13. 12, 13. Yeah.
What was school like when you went to London? Because obviously it was a lot different Stafford, innit?
A lot different. So I started off in going to a unit. So that was like everyone who's been kicked out of schools in the borough all go to this unit.
Oh shit.
So I'm with all the bad breed kids.
Which doesn't make sense, really.
How?
I mean, it doesn't make sense because you're trying to straighten these kids out.
Yeah.
And you put them all together.
Yeah, but then you got to think, like, schools ain't going to just take expelled kids, are they? You know what I'm trying to say? So you got to kind of, you got to be put together to try and make out, look, you're trying to do something better to go into a school.
Right.
That's what it kind of was for me. So I was there for a good amount of time. There was some good people there, crazy times.
Okay. So did you know anybody when you went there?
No, I didn't know no one, fam. When I moved to London, I didn't know no one.
But obviously, because your family, your dad lived there.
Yeah, had my dad's side.
Yeah, so, but when you'd go back and visit, you didn't know anybody of your age?
I had older cousins in London.
Right.
Other than that, nah.
Where were you? East London?
Yeah. East.
Okay, so, and then no fuckery was going on while you were at the uni?
Yeah, bare madnesses was going on. Fights. Yeah, just think, I moved to London with a Stafford accent in it. I was obviously raised in Stafford. Yeah. So just the way that I spoke was a bit mad. Yeah, stood out a bit mad. So I had to show people, like don't think that, you know what I mean? Like, I'm here, like, I'm here, innit? Don't think I'm that guy. So, I had a few altercations and people started to rate, man. Okay. As it always is, innit? Yeah.
That's how you gain your respect.
Yeah.
It's like prison rules, isn't it? Yeah, man. So, and then what happens? So then you get let back into a school afterwards?
Yeah. So basically, there wasn't that many people at this school either. There was about, say, 2 handful of us in this little
Right.
This little place. And then, yeah, I remember the teachers, I can't remember their names, but they got me into a school. I went to school in Leytonstone still.
Okay.
And that's when, yeah, life was different still.
how did you feel then, as opposed to being in the schools in Stafford?
How did I feel then?
Were you more on edge because it's rougher?
You know what? Back then, I had no fear, but
Yeah.
I had no fear.
Like that.
So like, I'm just gassed. New people. Yeah. Like, what's going on? Yeah. Just meeting people, and just getting to know people, and then the girls. Yeah, that's another story. But yeah, it was sick though. I would never change it because it made me. I seen a different side, which kind of calmed me down. Going to London calmed me down.
Oh, okay.
Because it was serious stuff for what was going on. Yeah.
In what way? Was it a thing of like
you turn up to school, going to school, and you're seeing when you're leaving school, you're seeing a bag of man from different areas.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like coming to the school.
You have to watch your back more.
I started rolling with the kind of wrong. When I went to the what was I say the name? When I went to the second school, I kind of started rolling with people who had enemies for other people.
Oh, okay.
You know, and I had people warning me and stuff.
You felt like it was like gang culture, or
it was a bit different ends. So you had different ends all in one school.
Right.
So it's gonna be beef.
Yeah.
People turn up outside the school.
So did you end up getting like drawn into that, or?
Nah, I was smart in it. I kind of knew the people who were in that, but at the same time, I wasn't getting myself fully involved in it. You know what I'm saying? I was more on the fence. You get me? And I had good people around me telling me things as well, what not to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I kind of listened to that.
I think in school, even though we're kids, you still got to have your wits about you, because
100%.
Because if you go in just like susceptible to getting drawn in by anybody, you can end up in some real shitty places.
You can. I was 15 with one boy. I ain't gonna say his name, but driving to school.
Oh shit!
From 15 years old.
Jeez.
He was driving, not me. I'm just in the car rolling.
Yeah. Same age as you, then?
Yeah. Wow. It was in the same year, rolling to school, and then cause he had madnesses with other people.
Whose car was that?
It was his car. It was like he bought a car, man. Like, I ain't gonna say his name.
Yeah.
Well, at the time, it was only like some old Fiesta. You get me? Some beat down. Right, I remember it was red. Like, it was driving to school in our ties and everything.
That is mad.
But back then, London was like that.
Yeah.
You get me? You could like get away with mad things. You know what I'm saying? But and then even touching on another subject was rolling to school with knives.
Jeez.
You get me? Just to
protect yourself.
Yeah. Cause I'm with someone who's in it. Who's in it. I'm rolling with someone who's in it. You know what I mean? So I had to protect myself when I'm with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's mad with school, because and knives, because you don't necessarily want to get into that.
No.
But sometimes people are carrying it for defense.
Yeah. So you don't want to get caught slipping.
Yeah, because there's the phrase, I'd rather be caught with it than caught without it.
Yeah. But at that time, like, I weren't thinking that I'm gonna use this on someone. That was never came across my mind. It was just
in case they rolled up on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's mad because look how life is today, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's mad.
Was it as big then as it is now?
I think with now it's social media, innit? So it's everywhere now. Back then it was going on, but it weren't. There was no social media. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We didn't have camera phones too tough back then.
That's a good thing.
You know what I mean? It was a good thing. It was, but then. I don't know. Would you think it would be a good thing?
Well, I think it's got its good points and its bad points. So my younger brother is 11 years younger than us, and when he was at school, I'd go on Snapchat while I'm at work, and he's like Snapchatting just stupid shit they're doing in the class, and I was like, we never had that luxury.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when we were doing stupid shit, nobody could. There was no evidence.
Yeah, exactly. So I preferred that.
Yeah,
completely.
Because you could do something, and you think nobody's watching, and there's a camera there, or there's a Zoom there or whatever. And yeah, so the stuff we haven't got to, we can't look back, you know, we can't look back at some of these moments that we're talking about because the cameras weren't there.
But it's in there, and they're the best memories.
Yeah. But the amount of stuff we must have forgot.
I forgot bare things, man. That's why I said when you don't know about that DVD thing, I would pay whatever.
Is a certain like stuff that stands out for you?
What in my teenage years?
In school, like certain like memories, stories.
I don't know where to start.
I saw a meme the other day that said something along the lines of year 9 was just like fucked. And I thought it was, because you've settled into your school. You're not the new kids anymore.
No.
But you haven't got to the point of having to worry about exams. So you just be grateful that I turned up, basically, because I had no reason to, like, there was nothing to care about.
And at them ages, it's like all different subjects you want to do. You don't know what you want to do. Like, that's how I felt anyway. Like, you know what I'm saying?
And you're doing a lot of stuff that you don't like. There was like in our school we had like geography, history, and some of the other stuff that were like grouped together. So you were with the same group for all them classes. And I didn't care about any of that stuff, so I didn't want to be there. Well, to be honest, the whole of school I didn't want to be there. I just turned up because I had to. And even then I didn't always turn up. So I remember this one day I walked into history, and because we had like table plans in it, so they'd say to you, this person sits here and that person sits there, whatever. Now
it's alphabetical order. I swear how it went in it.
Like,
kinda.
I think so. But then what happened was our history teacher just decided that she was going to change where we sat, but she never wrote it down. But we knew where we sat. And so I walk in one day and there's a new woman there. Now she was one of these teachers that is like she's having like a practice year before she becomes a teacher. Right. So she took over our class. But our teacher was like in her office, so she wasn't even there supervising. So I rock up and I wasn't a bad kid at school. I just like to kind of mess around. Do you know what I mean?
Well, you was good though. You was good.
I was one of these kids. I was one of these kids where like, if a teacher pushed my buttons,
that's it.
That was it. So I walk into the history class and we had the big like countertops on the side and then the windows. And I can't remember whether it was really hot or really cold. Anyway, I've walked in, acknowledged there's a new woman there, but went over, jumped onto the countertop and either closed or opened the window, whatever. So she starts switching at me. Now it's like, listen, I don't know you and you don't know me, but we're getting off we're getting off on the wrong foot, right? So I was like, me and you ain't gonna get along if you come at me like that. You could have just said, you know, can you get down or whatever. But she like went at me, but the lesson hadn't started then. So then we all sit where we're now our new seats that we've been sitting there for a while, and she starts reading off people's names and she's like, you're all in the wrong seats. We're like, no, we're not. This is where. But she thought because she was new that we were taking the piss. Right, and she didn't want to be like
that teacher.
She didn't want to be like took the piss out of, basically like vulnerable. So she starts switching again. Now remember Hannah that was in my class, the mixed race girl. I'm trying not to say surnames, so in case I say anything I shouldn't say, but this ain't that bad anyway. But anyway, so she was in my group, and now she was like me, like she wasn't the worst kid, but she liked to piss around, and she was stubborn as well. And when this new teacher starts switching at us, me and Hannah kind of looked at each other and we're like, we're gonna basically disrupt these lessons, and she's fucked it basically.
You came to the wrong classroom.
And so from that day, we made her life a misery in our lessons, because I was like, well, I'm not the one that you should be fucking pointing at, because I'm not new here. You're new here, so do you know what I mean?
Yeah. You gotta gain our respect, type of thing.
Yeah, exactly. So once we got it in our heads that us and the teacher weren't seeing eye to eye, that was it. The lessons were done for after that. And that was it. And year 9 was a bad one, because I remember science. For some reason, I had the worst fucking science groups. Like, every idiot that wanted to fuck around was in my group, right? And also me, I wanted to fuck around too. Science was the lesson for me, where I used to turn up and see how fast I could get kicked out, because I didn't want to be there. And
science was dead, to be honest, though.
And more time with our science group, so we had 3 science lessons a week, and they were all double lessons.
I remember that.
Why have you got to put us in 100 minutes of science when I didn't want to be there for 5 minutes? Do you know what I mean? And our science group was just fucked, right? It wasn't bad kids. It was just kids that just couldn't care less, right? So we had a Mrs. Led. Did you ever have Mrs. Led?
That name rings a bell.
She was quite old.
I don't think I did, but I remember I remember her though. I remember her still.
So there was this one time where in her class the seats were like a U shape to the board. So you'd walk in, the board was on the right side, and then the class, and then it was in like a U shape like that, with like 2 tables in the middle. Yeah. And I'm on the back row facing the wall. Yeah. Right. So on the left side, but at the back, and our lot, some of us, like Scott Haley and Bill Mayer and them boys, all of us on the back, right? Yeah. Now, there was a girl, Emily, who was in my class, in my form, and she was sat at the front, at the start of the U, let's say. Yeah. And Jenny was next to her.
Okay.
Right. And this one lesson, I start seeing like Chinese whispers going on. Right. So there's someone saying something it was Emily. She started it. She was the ringleader on this day. She was the ringleader. Right. And she loved to get up to shit too. Yeah. So she starts whispering something to Jenny, and Jenny laughs. And then Jenny whispers something to somebody else. And I'm like, what the fuck's going on? What are they saying? Why are they laughing? Yeah. So now it comes round. Right? It's coming round. And then when it gets to me, I was like, oh, that's why it's funny. So Emily was like, something like, 2 o'clock, everybody start tapping your pens, right? Okay. So now the whole class knows, but the teacher. Yeah. So we're all looking behind us at the clock. 2 o'clock comes, we start tapping our pens. Yeah. After a bit, another whisper comes round. People start laughing. 2:10, everybody close your books. Okay. So we're all looking. Now I don't know what was being said in the class. We weren't paying any attention. 2:10 comes, close the books. 2:20, everybody start yawning. 2:30, everybody pretend you're asleep. Right.
The teacher was pissed.
Listen, the teacher, right, she was like really patient with us that day. Yeah. Really patient. And I was like, fuck. But Emily wanted to see how far she could push it. Right. And then the next one comes around. And people like people's reaction changes now, because it's funny, but they're like, oh shit. So let's say it was like 2:30. She was like, Mexican wave. Right.
Don't like everyone's doing the Mexican wave.
So listen, remember in science we had the high wooden heavy stools.
Oh my days, them stools.
So it's not like these chairs. We've got to like kind of leap up them to get anywhere.
Why did they make us sit on them stools? I don't get it. Them were so uncomfortable. Them stools.
Yeah. No backrest.
Yeah. All back straight.
Yeah. So 2:30 comes. We're all locking, and I'm thinking, because we've got a few kids that are good kids in the class. Like, is everybody going to commit? It's going to look stupid if not everybody commits. How's the teacher going to react? So we're looking, 2:30, everybody fucking dives up, right? One after the other, everybody dives up. The kids in the middle, everybody, even the kids that you didn't think would, they did it.
On it.
Bruv, the teacher flipped. Yeah. flipped, like vein popping in her head. She's turning purple, red, screaming, right? And I'm like, oh my God, right? Now, I'm looking out the window. I'm saying to myself, "Ban, don't laugh, because I can't help it." Yeah. So I'm looking out. And then I turn around and I think, I can't look at anybody. So I put my arms on the table like this, and then I just put my head down because I don't want to make any eye contact. But then, stupid me, I look up and I see Jenny like trying to hold it together, and I just burst out laughing again. Now, have you got to that point where you thought a teacher was going to hit you? That's what it... She listen, she was holding back, and I was like, oh, fuck. We pushed buttons, man, because she's seen us doing the shit, and she was like, "Come on, class, blah blah blah," and then that was the one that was like the last straw before she lost her mind. But year 9, we just didn't care. We just
didn't care.
Anything goes.
It was that.
And you know what? In science, have you ever seen a Bunsen burner since you left school?
No. What was that even for again?
Why did we use Bunsen burners?
I don't know.
You know what? I've cut a lot of different people's hair. They do different jobs. No one's ever said to me, "Oh, today while I was using the Bunsen burner." I don't know what it's for.
That was like an old school piece of equipment. Like that was.
What did we do with it?
I don't know. Just remember playing with it, turn it on, and then turn it off.
And the gas.
Yeah.
But we turn the gas on, fucking get the fucking deodorant.
Yeah. Make a lot of explosions happen in science, I remember that.
That's what we used to go for.
Yeah.
And then get kicked out. But like, did you find when you moved on to different schools, they were different to ours, or do you feel like collectively it was all the same shit, just different people?
Yeah. Similar. A bit different. More activity, more stuff went on in the schools in London, I would say, than to Stafford. But yeah, similar. I'll say similar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I had a funny memory just came to me in school. I remember, like, this is when I realised, like, man was poor, innit? Yeah, because I remember, like lunchtime, mum used to give me a little change for like lunchtime, innit? And then I just remember one time just trying to get some food, and I was just like, rah, this is what I've got, and this is what I need to try to feed myself with throughout the whole day as well. Because remember, you used to have break time, then lunchtime, and there were times you go get a quick little food. But I remember Doddy from they used to have the little Toxsickk at the bottom.
Yeah, the cafeteria at the bottom.
Yeah, he showed me how to just make little raises, just take the food and just walk out. I remember he was taking the chocolates, the sweets, and selling it at the door.
Oh shit!
So that's what I was saying. Like, so when you were young and you were seeing olders doing little things to try and make little change.
You started hustling.
Yeah, you start hustling, innit? And then that turns into other things, innit? But yeah,
it's the same concept with just different stock.
Yeah, different, exactly.
Yeah,
and people on it, because you gotta think, man. Like, I don't know about you, but my mum was giving me a few £1 a day to go to school with, you know what I'm saying? And that was...
you had to make it last.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
You got to do what you got to do.
Hundreds.
Speaking of change, did I ever tell you when we made Scottish Adam snort rubber?
No. It's crazy the things we did, innit?
Right.
Like what possessed him to do that anyway?
Listen to this, right? So we were in so you've got to make your choices for what lessons you're going to do in year 9 to go into year 10.
Right. Yeah, I remember that.
So I'm looking at the paper in year 9. I'm thinking, well, I don't want to do the things on this list, but I've got to pick one.
Yeah.
So there was a few things. There was like cooking and sewing and there was electronics. Now, I ain't interested in electronics, but it was like the best thing out of a bad group of subjects.
Yeah.
So I picked that. And there were probably about, I don't even think there was 20 of us on the in the class. And again, maybe a third of the group wanted to be there. The rest of us were just fucking idiots, right? Now, in our electronics class, there was like 3 tables, and the middle table was the biggest one, and all of us idiots sat on the biggest one, and we were none of us wanted to be there to actually gain anything from it. It was just a double lesson,
Crack
jokes, fuck about. And so our DT rooms were all like, there was rooms within rooms. You didn't end up back in the corridor. There'd be like the woodwork and the graphics and all, and computer room and all this shit. So we just used to mix with all the other stupid kids that wanted to fuck about in their DT class. So this one time, we're in like the little computer room that was in there, and it was like me, Tom Archer, I can't remember who else was in there. Maybe Chris McGann was in there. There was a few of us. There was probably about 6 or 7 of us, and I don't know whose idea it was, but somebody decided, hey Adam, what if? You remember Adam?
Yeah. Remember Scottish Adam? I do.
Man. And everybody's got a kid in their school, in their year, that with a little bit of persuasion will practically do anything.
Yeah.
He was one of them kids.
Yeah.
So now you've got to take advantage of that, right? So somebody says to him, hey Adam, if we count the change in our pockets, would you snort rubber? And he was like, how much is in there? Right. So we empty our pockets out. There's probably about 6, 7, 8 of us. We empty our pockets out. And you got your 2p's and your 20p's, your 10p's. But collectively, between the group of us, we had like £6, £6 something, right?
Back then, that was a lot of money, you know.
We're talking like 2004, 2005.
Shit.
£6 to get you a lot, but you couldn't buy a house with it. It'd buy you a lot more than it does now.
Trust me.
So he was like, yeah, okay. So we're like, yeah. And he was like, I don't know. I was like, it's £6 something. Do you know what I mean? It's a lot of money. You get it. All you got to do is snort the rubber.
Mad.
So, so he, with a little bit of persuasion, he agrees. And that was it. So we get the rubbers, right? We get the fucking...
What did you do? Did you even cut it up? Or
yeah.
What?
So we get the rubbers, right? We snap them. We get our rulers and start fucking sawing these rubbers
I remember that. Yeah.
Sawing the fuck out of these rubbers. Now we've got a pile, you know, like Scarface, Tony Montana. He's got the big fucking... So we've got the pile. We pile these fucking... We make some lines. Fucking hell, if the teachers walked in, man, they would have been like, what the fuck are you lot up to?
Trust me.
So we make these lines, and now he's thinking about it. We're like, come on, Adam, come on. So he goes for it, right?
Yeah.
When I tell you, I swear on my life, right? I panicked so hard. I had my 3310 back then, yeah. So
3310, you know.
I got my 3310 out, yeah. And I had 999 on my phone.
What, ready
to dial, because this guy started looking like he was going to pass out. He starts choking. He starts turning purple, right? And I'm like, oh my God, we killed him. We've killed him. Right?
Bruh. So what?
And then you know what's mad? Because he couldn't do all of it. There was a lot of rubber. And people were like, nah, I ain't giving you the money. You didn't snort it.
You played it.
I was like, this kid's gonna die, right? Anyway, luckily he didn't pass out, but I was like, fuck, the ambulance might be coming. Like, you don't even think as a kid, like,
yeah, the dangers of doing certain things, innit?
Yeah,
they don't come to your mind.
And then like fucking a week later, this guy was still fucking coughing out rubber.
Coughing it out.
Yeah.
Bruh.
And I was like, fuck, what were you thinking? What you don't think when you're at school, you just do whatever.
Do whatever, literally, and yeah, that's crazy. I didn't even know that story. Hope you're all right now. I tell you, get me.
Yeah, I hope we never got into any bad things after that, man.
Yeah.
Jeez, but yeah, we just had like
good times.
We just had them lessons where it was like, I ain't gonna use this in my future anyway, so I may as well just fuck around while I'm here.
Make the fun of it, man.
Yeah. People say like, school are your best moments. I don't miss going to school for anything else apart from pissing about.
Yeah, just the jokes, innit? Yeah, obviously when you think about it, what did you really learn? Like, wasn't a hell of a lot.
Nah.
But like in life, like life lessons, a hell of
Yeah,
a
yeah.
like,
You learn some of that, and you learn about like dealing with like people skills, innit? Because you've got so many different people that you've got to gel with.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
For real.
Because obviously, when you leave school, you can pick and choose who you're gonna hang around with.
For real.
But at school,
yeah, you ain't got a choice.
You got the kid next to you. He ain't your type of kid, but you just fucking roll with it anyway, innit?
For real.
Yeah, you make some weird friendships at school, man.
Yeah, man.
Fucking, you know, I remembered, just saying that, I remembered Damien.
All right,
Yeah. And,
and he was back from same primary school, innit?
Yeah. And he, again, there was another kid that liked to get up to no good. And the incident that happened with me and Terry, remember that one?
Yeah, what happened there again? You two had beef.
I didn't have beef. She had beef with me. Right? She had beef with me. Only over him.
Oh, was it?
It stemmed from one lesson.
Okay.
Because she was sat in front of me and him, and the whole class, he's just kicking a chair and making jokes about her and a friend that was sat next to her whole time. 50 minutes, just non-stop jokes, kicking. And I think I cracked one joke.
Okay.
And she turned around to me. She was like, "I'm gonna smack you outside." And I was like, "What?"
Bear in mind, Terry's a girl, you know.
Yeah, but Terry's a good, but Terry was a big girl.
Yeah. She could hold her own still.
She was a bully. She was a school bully. Listen, right? We were 12 years old, yeah, because it was a second year of high school, and she got kicked out of another high school. Now you got to be kind of bad them days to get kicked out of a high school.
For real, because she came. Was it year 8, year 9?
Yeah.
For real. So, in it though.
Yeah,
for real.
And she used to bully the other girls. Like all the other girls in our year were scared of her. And she used to hang around with the older kids. This was proper council estate type of person. Yeah. She used to give abuse to teachers if she saw them at the supermarket outside of school.
Is that what she was doing?
Yeah.
Right.
And I used to see her bully girls. And this one time she turns around, she says to me, "I'm going to smack you outside." I was like, "Oh," but I kind of didn't. I thought she was kind of joking.
Yeah, you didn't think it was serious. Yeah,
nah. But it was the last lesson of the day. It was English, right? We was in Mrs. Wall's.
Was I in that lesson?
Nah, it was just like my forms.
Okay. Oh yeah, because you two were in the same form, innit?
Yeah. So, remember where Mrs. Wall's classroom was? By the language lab at the top.
Yeah.
So we come out of there. Now she must have told everybody what she was going to do, because I was the last person to walk out of the classroom. And normally everybody, when the bell goes, everybody scatters off to leave and go home. But everybody hung around. Yeah. Right? So I thought she might have been joking. Yeah. I walked out the class. As soon as I stepped out the class, she
swung for you.
She cracked me straight in the face.
Bro.
Right? Straight in the face. I was like, "Oh shit, she's not joking."
Was there bare people there?
The whole class was there. Shit. Right? And I'm like, "What do you do? Because you don't hit girls. Yeah, you ain't allowed to hit a girl. That was the rules that we used to go by.
Still to this day.
So well, listen, I learned a valuable lesson that day. So she punched me. So what am I gonna do? And everyone's like, "Oh, you know, the kids are gassing it up. They love it." Yeah. So I had to grab her by the top of the arm so she couldn't swing. Right? Now, at this point, bear in mind, I wasn't doing martial arts back then. Had it have been after I started doing martial arts, I would have known how to deal with this situation better.
Yeah.
But back then, I could throw a punch, but I couldn't do anything else but that.
Yeah.
So how am I going to restrain somebody when I don't know how to restrain people?
True.
So I grabbed her by the top of the arms, and she used to wear these like platform shoes, these heels, and they were like fucking bulky like that.
Do you remember them heels that them girls used to wear at school?
Yeah, and the platform at the bottom was like fucking that big. And so while I'm holding up her arms, she's thrown her leg up and she caught me in the ribs and winded me.
Allow it.
Right? Now, I can't show that I'm winded, but everybody's laughing. I'm being humiliated, yeah? Imagine what's going through my head. I'm being humiliated by a girl who's attacking me, and I can't hit her back, right? everybody's laughing. Nobody decides to get in the way and say, hey, Terry, you know, allow it. But people were scared of her anyway, so nobody wanted to come under that fire. But I feel like she tried to use me as a little bit of a reputation. I didn't have a bad reputation, but I had a reputation where I was up for throwing hands if necessary. And I think she knew that, and she thought, well, if I fight him and he ain't going to hit me back because I'm a girl, and then I'm going to get a better reputation. That's the kind of person that she was. So after she wins me, like, she's trying to come out of it and I'm still trying to hold her arms. She spits in my face, right? And I remember the spit coming like down here.
Whoa.
Right.
Whoa. That's crossing the line, you know.
And I was like, what the fuck?
She spat.
I was grossed out, but still, I'm like, I can't hit her.
Yeah. That must have been, you must have been in a horrible situation, like what you're saying there. Girls fully attacking you and you just don't know
because you know that if you do something back, you're gonna get scrutinized for it.
Yeah.
But nobody wants to step in. Everybody just thinks, oh, you know, this is a funny situation. So I feel like I can't do anything about this. I'm in a lose-lose situation. So I'm gonna leave. So I'm still holding top of her arms. As I've took a step to the left to leave, I've turned my face away. And as I've turned my face away, I've caught another one on the lip.
So she's hit man twice. She's hit man twice. Spat in man's face.
Kicked me in the ribs.
Kicked you in the ribs.
Right? As I felt that one on the bottom of the lip, split second, I was like, no.
I'm not having it.
I've thrown this right hook.
Did you?
Yeah. Don't you remember?
So say, like...
Listen, because... Right, 1 sec. So... I've thrown this right hook and I threw it that fast that I hadn't even turned around before I'd thrown it. I was looking this way. I've thrown it because I was like, fuck this. I've thrown the hook. And as I've thrown it, I've turned around and then looked at her and she's grabbed her face and she's dropped.
Is it?
Right? She was out. Yeah. And then everyone was like, "Ban, you're a prick." What?
What do you mean? What do you expect me to do? You get me?
Fucking hell. But I was seeing like fire at that point. I was like, I would have fought the whole class at that point.
You did well.
I tried to leave.
Get me?
And then I walked off. And then don't you remember? Because I saw you in the bus park while I was waiting for the bus, and you came back and you were like, what happened with Terry? Because didn't she say to you, will you hit bang for me? And you were like, what?
Something like that. Maybe she did say something like that.
But she never told you what happened.
No. She didn't. But I remember hearing things like there was an altercation between you two or something, and then she probably did say that because she knows that we were close anyway.
Yeah, but then so why would she say that to you? And then
thinking that I was gonna back it for her, innit?
Yeah, right. But then the next day, I came back to class and she was sat in there and she had a black eye. And she said to me, word got around, she said to me, and I don't know if you'll remember this, she said to me, go on the field at lunchtime, I'm going to have 8 of my 18-year-old friends on the field to stab you.
That what she said to man? Yeah,
and I told you, and so I rang my brother Mitch.
Good memory, you know.
I rang my brother, these are certain things that you just never forget.
Yeah.
And I rang my brother Mitch. I was like, listen, you might have to come down, because they were meant to be 18-year-olds and Mitch was like 20.
Yeah.
So I was like, you and the boys might have to come down at lunchtime because this is a situation. He says to me, go on the field, and if they're there, give me a call. And I remember I says to you, I was like, listen, she's threatened to have me stabbed. And you were like, all right, let's go and see then.
Yeah.
That was the thing. Other kids would have been like, let's stay away from the field.
I was like, I want to see what's going on. And we'll touch on the field in a minute. Carry on.
Yeah, so we went to the field, but they weren't there anyway. And so nothing ever came of it after that. But fuck, like, that was...
She was just chatting shit then.
Yeah, she was like, oh, it's only if you do it again. I was like, well, stay out of my way.
You
know what I mean?
Good,
like,
isn't it? Yeah.
But, yeah, like, to... a stab threat at 12 years old. But yeah, man, again, you was there. You were like, you were like, listen, we'll go and check it. But yeah, man, tell me a story.
Well, top of the fields. A lot of memories, man.
Yeah.
That's what.
You was always at the top of the
That
field.
was my spot.
We know what used to happen at the top of the field.
Where's Leon? I'm at the top of the field.
Always.
You get me? Like,
always.
obviously, man would be playing football on the occasion. You get me? On the occasion.
On the rare occasion.
On the rare occasion, but more time. That's where we're the smoking's going on. That's where we're all chilling. It's up to badness. Even MCing back then. Them days.
Yeah,
that's when
that.
I started to realize I got a little something here. Like, I like this. I like the. I remember just everyone just being gassed or wanting to hear me spray bars.
Yeah.
That was a sick feeling in school still.
And that was amongst, like, it was the smoking and the rapping.
Yeah.
Just kind of like, while you're there, that's what you did.
yeah.
Were you a part of that group? Remember that time when like 50 kids from the back of the field got walked to the office?
Yeah.
Were you a part
you know
of
what?
it?
I thought I got away though, because I remember everyone getting called out, and I was thinking, yo, this is mad.
Weren't you like being walked to the office from what was his name? That deputy head, the one with the big mustache. Because you know what? Because I was on the field that day, not on the top, and I saw him creep. Right, because there was the other field next to our field with the bushes in between.
Yeah,
I saw him creep into that field, hide behind the bushes, and then just fucking
just pop out.
He just popped out. But the kids were stupid, yeah, because they used to sit in a circle, smoke, and you could see the smoke in the air.
Yeah.
Now the staff room was facing the field. So what were people expecting?
Trust me, just dumbness. Didn't think, innit? You thought you weren't being watched. That's what it was.
They were always watching.
The teachers always were watching.
Always
watching, man.
Yeah, so what happened? So you thought you got away?
Yeah, because these times here now, obviously I've got introduced to smoking and I realised, I can make a little change as well from smoking. So I just remember, I ain't gonna say her name, but we know who it was. Got caught in lesson. She had like a letter of all the people's name who she owed money to. Yeah.
Who?
Naomi. You remember Naomi?
Oh shit.
Yeah. She had a letter, like, and that's how I got called out. And that was the first time I got.
She owed money to you, lot.
Yeah, she
for
had
that.
Yeah, she had everyone's name on a list.
And that's how you got caught.
That's how we got caught. She's in lesson, and that, you know what? That's not the first time how I got caught. You know, that's another time similar happened like that in another school. But yeah, because it was notes. Remember in school, we're always writing notes.
Yeah.
Sending notes. You know what I'm saying? And then, like, and that's what she did. And that's the first time I got suspended, man. I was pissed.
What was that, year 8?
You know? Yeah. And just putting it out there, being suspended was shit.
Was it?
Yeah, man.
Why?
You're missing out. Everyone's at school. What are you doing? You're at home. Doing what?
I don't know, man. I thought that sounded like it was a fun time.
At first it sounded fun. Yeah, I ain't gotta go to school. But then when you're at home and everyone's at school, I miss being in Western, fam.
Yeah. So, something could have been going on and you would have missed it.
I just miss being around everyone, innit? Like,
were you there when we protested?
No, see, I missed that.
Didn't you? But I remember. I know you weren't at our school, but I feel like, did you turn up on the field?
See, these times here, I'm in London, aren't I? So I just remember. I remember hearing about it, and just feeling left out. Like, nah.
We made the fucking local front page papers.
Big things. I remember that, and I was pissed because I was thinking, if I didn't go down that route, I would have been there with all you lot, just protesting.
Hated us that day.
And what was it cause? Was it for like they're trying to make us square? We couldn't wear jackets. Was that what you couldn't wear your coat? Or
so we got a new head teacher that year, and he wanted to put all these new rules in and whatever. And one of the rules was you can't wear coats inside.
Dumbest rule ever.
Yeah, you know, because you spend too long taking them off,
like
in lesson.
And that was a new head teacher, innit?
Yeah.
That came in.
And he pissed us off again, going back to it. Like, you come in, you pissed us off from the start. So word got around from the year 11s, we were in year 10, the word got around that they want to do a protest on the field at break time.
Yeah.
Right. So at break time, everybody goes on the field, bell rings to go back to lesson, nobody goes back to lesson.
I rate that.
Right. So bear in mind, we was probably only a few weeks, maybe the first month into into the new year. So teachers are now coming, like some of the year 7s, obviously they were shocked because they knew they don't want to get in trouble. So they started like leaving. But there was fucking a lot of us, probably, 7, 8, 900 people on the field. Teachers start coming. We're all at the back on the fence where the trees were, holding onto the fences. The head teacher comes. We start booing him. We start chanting the name of the previous head teacher. Then like Mr. Owen comes. Everybody's trying to talk us to go back. And then the ringleaders, the year 11s, were like, let's all go to the tennis courts. So we'd all run to the tennis courts, and then we'd all run to the bus park, and then we'd come back to the field. And for the whole day, by the end of the day, there was probably 400 or 500 people still left.
Mad. So how did the papers even get to know about all of that?
I can't remember.
That's mad. Because I swear, like, Western set a trend as well. I swear, from that, every other school was doing it.
All the other schools and stuff, and then started protesting. But we were the ones that made the paper because we were the first ones. But I don't know how the papers found out. Crazy. Unless somebody called the papers while we was at school, and one of the kids called her.
Someone must have done something. Whoever did, you're sick.
Right? Because you know what was mad? Did you ever see the front page?
Yeah, and
it was Tom Archer.
Yeah. Was he trying to climb the fence or something?
No. So one of the kids, for a laugh, threw something of his over the fence.
See.
And so he went over to get it, and then decided that he was gonna. I don't know how the fuck he did it, but he just kind of like hurdled the hedge that was like this high, just as he was standing, just hurdled it. But the way they caught it looked like he was running across the hedge.
Yeah.
And the next day was front page on his birthday.
Mad.
Yeah, that's how we made the papers, man. You know what? Mr. Owen was pissed. He started cussing us out, at the end of the day, because they started giving out after schools. I never went to one after school. Out of all the after schools I was handed out in my school time, I never went to one of them. We got after schools that day. And some of us were trying to talk to him, and he was like cussing us out.
Yeah. I can't imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, he probably got it in as well. School, man.
Those are the fucking days, man.
Trust me.
But yeah, I'm gonna say, like, just before we head out, tell us, because I know you've got obviously some things going on now. You've got like a little business started up. We've all come a long way since school.
Yeah, definitely.
15 years, this month since we left.
We need a reunion,
Yeah. Do you know what? I haven't seen the group that we were hanging around with when we started. I was with until we left.
Yeah.
And I might have seen 3 of them. There was 11 of us. I might have seen 3 of them since we left.
Yeah.
And I'm probably in contact with 2 of them still.
Is it? Yeah.
Light contact.
Yeah.
But we was with them 5 years. You haven't seen them since.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Mad.
It's crazy.
Mad.
You think those people are gonna be around forever, innit?
Yeah.
It's one of them. It's life. Like, look how we've been known each other since primary. We've lived different lives, but then we've always
come back together.
Obviously, because we same area, innit? We never lived that far away from each other. Where I think others kind of did. So, yeah, man. But touching on what I'm doing now. Started up a little hair and skin natural product company, Gold Star Israelite.
We'll tag it in.
I have to plug that.
Yeah, man.
Got the website there, the Instagram, the Facebook. And just seeing where it goes. Like I said, this is something that obviously I get eczema really bad, you get me?
Okay.
And like I wanted to come away from using steroid creams and stuff like that. And obviously man's on this natural thing anyway.
Okay.
So I started using shea butter, these African soap, and I thought to myself, there's got to be people out there who suffer with these things like I do. So why not spread the knowledge, innit?
Right.
Yeah. And people don't know about these type of products anyway. Coming from where we live.
Yeah.
So
you're trying to educate people and put out the good stuff, because there's a lot of shit in the things that we buy that we use for our skin.
And we don't even realise it. Even realise it. What we're putting in our skin. So, yeah, man, I just wanted to give back, innit? and do something like proper in it.
Yeah, make you know, progress as a person. You know, like when you got your own business, you're more in control of your life, and obviously, you know, you're a dad now, and you wanna expand yourself as best as you can.
Yeah.
And so
I want my little girl to say, "No, my dad does this, my dad does that."
Yeah.
Like that's and
I commend that.
And I'm glad like I'm where I'm at with it at the moment. It's early days, but you know what I mean. Got to keep pushing
onwards and upwards.
You get me?
I'll tag it. I'll tag you in the socials. Will be linked somewhere on the screen. And I just want to say thanks for coming on.
Anytime, bro.
Sharing the camera with me.
We didn't even go into deep. We didn't go into deep.
We couldn't incriminate too many.
Yeah, get me. We gotta be careful what we're saying. But no. Overall, like school was sick with you lot, man. Like I had so many fun times with you lot. I swear, like memories that will live on forever.
Yeah.
Talk, man.
If anybody that we used to go to school with, I ain't in contact with people, but if anybody gets to see it, hit us up. If anybody's got stories with any of us and you want to drop them in the comments,
refresh my mind as well.
Yeah. We'd be happy to hear them. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, tell them subscribe.
Subscribe to this Blood Clot channel now.
Subscribe, share it with the other people from school. We appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Tox in the chair with the barber. My name's Nicolaou. Stay tuned and you'll see me soon.
Peace.
Yeah.